So many jump into the flames, the flames, because I know a fire burned inside of you, and I would jump into the flames, the flames, just to burn with you.
Oh, look, yeah, we're back here again. It's the same shit, saying bye to a friend with a tight throat. And oh, we're crying again, and oh, we're crying again. It's grown so old, but we also pretend was the last year. And now they came to an end, dressed in black clothes with your tissues in hand. And oh, we're crying again, and oh, we're crying again. Hey, tell me, do you wonder? They told me that you're kind. Are we falling apart while we're pacing around in a funeral home? Hey, I'll see you at another wake, and we'll just call it life. We can't get it back now, we're dancing around in our funeral home. Drift, you get a drink from the bar to remember someone you hardly knew with the same blood. You know you just can't forget, it's such a shame to forget. It's grown so old, and now we're crying again. Hey, tell me, do you wonder? They told me that you're kind. Are we falling apart while we're pacing around in a funeral home? Hey, I'll see you at another wake, and we'll just call it life. We can't get it back now, we're dancing around in our funeral home. And I guess this is it, and I won't see you around anymore. At what cost? Pacing around in a funeral home. Hey, I'll see you at another wake, and we'll just call it life. We can't get it back now, we're dancing around in our funeral home.
Take a look at yourself. Can you accept what you've become? Another simple shadow of whoever you're around. Mold to them and sing their songs, dress like them and play along. Tear what's left of you.
And I mean, we had so many stipulations that were only just hindering on one team's performance, the one that wanted to make it into, say, the knockout or the playoff bracket, but we're also relying on other teams to be able to win or, say, lose their matches. So that way they could also, again, see themselves in knockout or playoff bracket potential. What's actually really awesome is that a lot of those teams that are obviously here in the knockout bracket, one is actually inside of our hidden look, is actually Built by Gamers. You and I personally, we were talking about Built by Gamers, how they have to win out. They didn't win all the way out, but at least they were able to win sufficient amount of matches and showcase a lot of good personality changes from the opening of Elite Stage number 3 to where we are right now, one of which is Big Candy Panda. I'm telling you, man, like that dude has been on some different sauce lately. When you're dropping numbers like that guy, it's pretty easy for the front line to be able to find what they're looking for.
Did you just call him Big Candy Panda?
Big Candy Panda. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of 80s movies, and that's just one of the references that came through. I think it was like Footloose or something like that. It's like Big Candy.
Right.
Like he came up there.
Whatever floats your boat there, bro.
Look, when I can't sleep, I watch 80s movies, all right? Look.
That's fair. We're here for that. So just so you guys know, again, you'll see it on the screen right here. We're going to be dancing back and forth between both the Built by Gamers and New York matchup, as well as the Los Angeles Girls Academy and Fantastic Four. We just have two observers going back and forth between both of them. So we'll kind of take the action as it comes to us, and we'll jump in with whatever map is further along so we can hopefully watch all the conclusions of every map that we have. We are going to be loading up in first and foremost, though, to Built by Gamers and NYSL Academy, like you mentioned. So that'll be the first game that we'll be taking a look at here. And just to talk about the history of these two teams playing up against each other, they played pretty early on, and it was not really all that close. The Subliners Academy had their way with Built by Gamers early on. We talked about the fact that, yes, Built by Gamers had a very slow start to the group stage, and part of that did come versus the Subliners Academy roster.
And you'll see map number 1 is actually a reprise from that first specified map set that they did face off in day number 1 of round robin. And it's on that raid hardpoint, of which, yes, Subliners Academy, they won 250 to 142. It was crazy to be able to see the pace that Saints and Spart were able to bring to the table. And that's the one thing that you have to remember for Subliners Academy, is that this is the original 4, if you will, that we saw from stage number 1. Built by Gamers, on the other hand, I mean, they're looking to be able to bounce on back. Again, the biggest difference for me is looking at this player right here is Pander. They dropped an overall probably about a 0.69 KD in that best of 5 series, but ever since they ended up heating up, and Built by Gamers are off to a great start here.
Yeah, just so you know, probably looks like our monitor feed is a little up behind, so I'll be casting this one off the Discord so we're lined up correctly. Yeah, Pander, again, just one of those guys that he was at least, my breaking point player of the game from a couple of days ago. I mean, he looked absolutely incredible. Lockdown AR for sure. And well, so far, I mean, even though the first 18 seconds look pretty good for the side of the Subliners, Built by Gamers are fighting their way back, and with that, they're also fighting their way in towards the back of the hard point over to get to the P2 side spawns.
And it comes down to be able to get those money hills, especially for raid. This is a hard point that could either snowball out of control or it can start going back and forth. It all comes down to these breaks. As the Subliners Academy, they're trying to set up for that push exactly. They're already pushing past ring. A lot of faith for that one player by Tiki, though.
It'll be interesting to see how these numbers kind of come through. Pander locking things down to the back. They will be an even trade over the kill feed, but with Pentagram still staying alive, he can contest. So we've got a little bit of a block spawn situation, but the kills are coming through for Built by Gamers, and that will allow them to get right back onto the hard point and start generating some more score. Already 55 plus seconds, not bad whatsoever. Got our X. He knows he's got a player in the corner, using literally every single bullet to think he can flush him out, but not going to happen. Nice little YY to try to find the kill from behind, but Spart, who does push through, will find a double, and New York will break into the kitchen.
Pentagram's off to a great start here. I mean, you see them just already about to reach the double digits as well, just playing their life on the hard point, but also to join the likes of Kismet. Pentagram always comes back in conversation time and time again when it's about these BBG players as they turn one underneath of the condo bedroom. That's going to be an immediate threat towards the rotations. Look immediately where Saints just spawned.
Yeah, all the way out towards that basketball hard point. So now you've got an opportunity here for Built by Gamers with numbers, but the response for the Subliners, not bad whatsoever. Hamza trying to respond to one more on the way through Jim, will not be able to. So now Prolude hitting a bit of a pinch, sees the one by the van, but not the one up close. So with that, Built by Gamers have found their way into the hard point with a couple of kills also coming through. The feed is freezing pretty hard for me right now, so kind of hard to see what's happening, but for Built by Gamers, it looks like they have done very well to lock in a break.
I'm right there with you. Almost feels like that tornado that might be just moving its way towards the East Coast might just be moving its way across raid. I know it's all the way across the country, but regardless, Built by Gamers are walking in here like a thunderstorm regardless. I mean, 36 seconds have totally accrued for Subliners Academy, and a lot of that seconds have been gained over by P1, and from what little they were able to dip their toes in towards 2 and 3. Built by Gamers are always threatening the rotation and the breaks. Here they come yet again, at least from the front of the cutout wall. Subliners Academy, they got to get these 2 players out.
Yeah, Pentagram having himself a great game so far as he's trying to work around the backside, not going to find any success. Rex also beat down. Hamza able to find a couple of those eliminations, gets the regen off. One more contestant through Kitchen. Not going to be much of an effort there for Built by Gamers either. So Subliners Academy in a nice position here to lock in some early time. Still plenty to work for if you're Built by Gamers. Or I guess on the flip side, if you're a Subliners fan, more enough time to maybe try to make this game a bit more equal. And the next hit largely being shut down. Spark good pre-fire, but as he goes to the reload, will he be challenged? Yeah, he sure will, but it's not going to make a difference. The help is there, and the Subliners once again resist the push coming through.
And I love this big change that came from Spart. Again, Spart has been one of the most highlighted players ever since Hydra did get called up to Subliners proper up in the CDL shift. And Spart being able to play a little bit more reserved. Again, when you take away Hydra, now that Spart's over towards that AR flex roll, you can kind of let loose to join with the likes of Saints. You see them being able to find a nice little snap on the one inside of Kitchen is before we move to 5. But you're able to play a little bit more reserved against a more aggressive Built by Gamers. You get exactly that. A little bit more of a tossy-turny kind of raid hardpoint as 5 has been established. And Subliners Academy, they're here.
Saints able to earn himself an artillery strike. Not going to get the final elimination for the cruise missile, but one of the 2 streaks earned. Subliners right back onto the 5th hardpoint, but the kills are good for the Built by Gamers. So now a chance for them to work their way in with numbers. But you do see that all these yellow arrows are starting to surround, trying to suffocate this hill. And as the hit starts to come through, well, the kills are just not quite there yet. Kismet stays alive, finds himself another kill, and, well, the help is there from his teammates as well. Built by Gamers, they lock things down and an opportunity to grow their lead.
And it comes down to just those breaks. But, I mean, Subliners Academy, you're really just feeling nice breeze coming through the air here on Raid, that you got that initial 20 seconds and that very sturdy P4 as we go for another attempt at this scrap time. A handful of seconds remain before we go in towards the second set. And that was well salvaged for Subliners Academy. Again, Built by Gamers were really starting to run away with it, but luckily enough, Subliners Academy finally get a sturdy hold over towards 4. And that initial time, like I was highlighting at a 5, kind of just stops the bleeding that Built by Gamers were establishing early. But now we're quite literally right back at the beginning of things. Built by Gamers, they got ring control. They're keeping Subliners Academy trapped inside of red and mid.
Yeah, this is another nice little bounce back moment here for Built by Gamers. Pentagram going to play for the trade, finds the kill, now has some mid control, but it's being tested, and that'll be enough for Subliners to bounce back. Streak had been also spent in the mix. Will not really get too much ground gain. We're still 50-50 in the hard point, and Kismet, nice little win there. Long range, good help from above, and the ARs for the Built by Gamers showing up once more in a big way, as now over 175 points and approaching 200 are BBG.
One player pushed up pretty darn far and needs some help before they can try to break inside of money as well. You can see the players for Subliners Academy at least trying to work their way across poolside. That's the pinch that you want to be effective, but the player out through mid, they get cut down, and Built by Gamers, they just have the numbers just more than established here on P2. And just reading these hits that Subliners Academy are trying to throw at them, they'll be over 200 points before Subliners can even work back into P2.
And for the Subliners, they are trying to make their way around through Laundry. A couple of kills are looking pretty solid. The third also there, but there is a team kill, so Kismet could potentially still fight this back, but no, denied. And that will be enough for the Subliners to work their way in, but Pentagram, he just slides on forward, finds 2. Spart was not in a position to help the challenge, so now all of a sudden, Built by Gamers from the front, I was a bit surprised they even got there in the first place. And now the kills are coming through quickly. Built by Gamers, electric moment for them. Yeah, they will be bounced back, but still the fact that they were able to contest at the halfway point, incredible to get them over 215 and really put the pressure on New York as they try to stretch over to the garage hard point.
Yeah, just toe dancing in between towards the middle of the map as well. I mean, flipping out the spawns right there with the leader's advantage that BBG have, that's a pretty comfortable setup that you're looking at. But Subliners Academy, they're already flying through red. Can they break it up? They go 1 for 1. That's pretty good numbers. It all just comes down to where they spawn in. Built by Gamers, they still have the AC spawn, so Subliners Academy still a standard 4v4 for this break.
Have to break on this attempt, though, and not a great start. They lose Spart over towards the outside by pool. Just down to Hamza. He's the last player left. Has to try to wait for help, but there's really not enough time to do that. So now Spart try to move as quick as humanly possible. Denied through the middle of the map. Built by Gamers only need a couple more seconds, and no one is going to touch in time. BBG, what a start to this series it was. 250, 125. They strike first.
At 250 to 125, I mean, that you couldn't talk about any stark difference to what it looked like the first time that these two teams faced on that exact map mode combo. A nice little turnaround for Built by Gamers. And again, you got to look at what they were able to do, not only from their AR lineup, but in also a lot of other circumstances of when those ARs are able to lock down those lanes, what it means for the submachine guns. I mean, Pentagram and Kismet look just so stellar, just so comfortable. And when you have that sub pressure on, you know what it means on a map like Raid. You're able to just quite literally waltz your way through those rotations.
We jump our focus over to LAG Academy and Fantastic Four. And well, the thing about this series is when these two teams played prior, LAG Academy didn't just lose both hard points, they kind of got embarrassed on both hard points. And for LAG, they have been in the group stage the worst team statistically on hard points. So they really need to collect and find themselves if they want to try to make a run for playoffs. And not a great start to open things up here, but an opportunity with 38 seconds to play for on the second hard point to maybe collect some score and maybe make this a bit more of an even game as they look over towards Library.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the best of 5 map set in between maps here, but the hard points definitely favor the likes of Fantastic Four. And you think that's definitely got to go in turn to what LAG were looking at when they are going for these best, or where they were going for the vetoes and bans. And yes, do not fix your screen. That is, in fact, Jintroy. They are 5-12. They are here, of course, with Decimate now joining Seattle Surge for the CDL. Need a submachine gun of a higher caliber. Look no further. Jintroid, though, having a very tough start. At least the rest of the members of Fantastic Four are starting to slay out to pick up where they're left off.
Just a hard point in between both of these squads. Semtex is being exchanged, but Exceed still tagged up. Will be the one to fall. Help was there, though. Mox able to lock things down and find one more. Nice job from him in the main AR. He's really, again, I would say, since getting moved down to Challengers, he's really showcased his potential for sure. It definitely was not on display, you know, this time of the CDL and things of that nature, but he's really let things up, including that right there. Nice little double, nearly snaps onto a third, but Mental's there for the cleanup. And even though Mox will not fully earn streaks, I think he was cut just a touch short. He will be able to at least tell his teammates that he's spawned out, and the focus for LAG needs to be on the back. Nero, he's got potential for streaks, but no, going to be denied. And Jintroid fired. The last 2 members to survive for Fantastic Four will make sure the rest of the team will spawn in and collect the scrap time for free.
Yeah, I was actually the other night just watching Black Ops 4 Grand Final Champs with Mox from Gen G. Again, just locking down the comms. I think, again, this is just such a great fit for, well, LAG Academy had lost to the table, but as the rotation comes through towards 4, Nero out for the doggy door was at least trying to chase down 1. Fantastic Four, they will be here and in towards the alleyway as well. Great read on Mental inside of the bank. 4 has fully popped here, and Fantastic Four threatening to go over 200 points.
Big 1v1 gunfight right there, though, for LAG, making sure that the spawns can be a little bit closer in proximity to this street hardpoint. They still have to find a way to work their way through. In the middle of the map, Slack denies Mental fire. Jintroid also popping up in the kill feed for Fantastic Four in the favorable side, and that will now essentially lead to enough numbers to collect some time here in the 4th hill. It stayed neutral for about halfway through, but now all of a sudden Fantastic Four have a pretty indomitable position surrounding the hardpoint.
And it just comes down. You got players inside the bus. You got players just trying to zone away inside gold. Mental needs to find this kill, or he throws a bullet, so that means that Slack knows that they got to turn, and they will, in fact, burn. More kills coming their way. 200 points, 10 seconds left inside of P4. Hero's going to find a nice little kill. That's going to be the exit from Gold Alleyway, but they're still just trying to threaten inside of White. The rest of their team still spawning bottom bank, and Fantastic Four are zoning all of LAG Academy out.
But you do have a nice win up top on the top right side of the minimap from Nero. You'll have a teammate spawn with them, so even though Fantastic Four did kind of retreat back to the new hard point, they're about to be pressured from multiple angles, or are they? Because they find clean kills, they win their ones, and everything looks pretty solid for Fantastic Four. So now all of a sudden, you're in a must-win position for LAG. Mental trying to make some use out of the far is moving his way down Eskies. Nero the other side. They do collect a couple of kills independently, but Jintroid, the new guy in the block, able to find a couple in response, and that will keep Fantastic Four in a position to keep contesting this back time.
It's got to be just that, right? You just got to keep it contested, if not try to wipe all Fantastic Four all off of this map. I mean, LG Academy playing for the future as well. You're holding on towards those P2 spawns, but it's got to be just that flawless hard point. You got to find almost every single kill. Every trade's got to be in your favor. Nice little turnaround Mox of the Diamati. We'll at least find one. All this time's going to go over towards Fantastic Four. 5 seconds inside the hill, and, well, they only need 10 to close out the game.
Nice little start here, though. LAG locking down the rotation through apartments. Fire will respond with 1, but this will be a split hit. 2 from lobby, 2 from apartments. Not exactly what you would want to see, especially as Nero finds the first elimination over towards the aforementioned apartments. And goodness, Mental. They barely moved at all. Absolutely destroyed. But now pressure from the back. Nobody cleared out fire ever. So now he's in a position to really just cause a muck. over through the backside of this police department. Spawns will be out. Nero's forcing himself to have to use the streaks, not going to connect. And now you've got the play from the front. Gintroid for a couple to the pistol, has help. And well, I don't think Mental is going to really be able to do enough to flip this game around. And Fantastic Four, they find themselves a very convincing win by nearly 100 points.
Nice to be able to see the tail end there with the FFAR, right? I mean, we saw Dashy just bring it inside the CDL. I mean, it'd be kind of awesome to be able to see that sort of medium range AR, but obviously it did not play full effect there. 250 to 154. Oh, it's actually a little bit worse if you're a fan of LIG Academy comparatively to where it was at the last time those two teams faced, where it was 250 192 on that exact map mode combo. But again, just like I said, throughout this best of 5 series, you're almost going to expect that the hard points, they absolutely will favor the likes of Fantastic Four. Right. It always will be, at least historically. Even the last time these two teams face, it's a search and destroy and control that you're mostly looking at if you're an LIG Academy fan.
Yeah, just to kind of go through some of those, like the rankings through the group stage. Dead last in hardpoint for LIG, but much better in the search, much better in the control. 5th, so right in the middle of the pack largely for fans across the board. But with that in mind, let's take a look at the map series set to see where exactly that best of 5 story will be told. The first one obviously come and gone as the Moscow, but we'll stay there for the search and destroy for map number 2. Raid will be there for the 3rd, and as mentioned, if you need to see this one go LIG Academy's way to avoid that lower bracket early, you got to get through the checkmate hardpoint to see the express search and destroy.
And that search and destroy Moscow, again, that's a reprise from the last time these two teams faced. It was actually map number 2 where LIG Academy were able to take it 6-4. The raid control, the exact same when LIG's favor, though, in that round 5. It was a barn burner between the that exact raid control. Yeah. To say that much, to say the least. But for the search and destroy, on the other hand, if there's one map that probably sticks out more than anything, it very much so could be this Moscow search and destroy. I mean, yes, for the side of LIG Academy, they are rather comfortable on it. They are undefeated 2-0. They did, in fact, 6-0 TMNT. But I think the one thing that's going to stick out more than anything for me, too, is what is Methods as well as Slack going to be able to bring to the table for this team of Fantastic Four. Because, I mean, they've been having a lot of time to scrim together. And I know that you're just picking up Gintroid, but when you're putting your nose to the grind, especially for pro players that not only are fighting for their spot back, you want to showcase everything that we saw towards the end of that round robin stage, which is first bloods galore from Slack and creativity out the window.
I'm glad that you brought that up because that's in my memory as well. Just talking about how Slack just had a presence in.
Come back.
Off. Oh, okay. So we are going to be going back and forth between this matchup and the Built by Gamers and Subliners Academy. That map 2 is also going to be a Moscow search and destroy. Neither have started yet, though. So just to kind of confirm for all of you guys out there watching, we will be trying to do our best to go back and forth between both matches. But for now, we're going to take just a small reprieve, not reprisal, just a small reprieve here. And we'll be back with map 2 for both these matchups right when we come back after this. Welcome back there, friends. Not sure what this scene is, but hopefully everything's all right. Jumping on in, it's going to be LIG Academy and Fantastic Four on the search and destroy as soon as we get a chance to see it. But a 6-4, like you mentioned, last time they were here proper, and credit to Fantastic Four for showcasing a lot of their creativity. And there we go. At least we can see it for now. Hopefully stream is the same way, but the bomb is planted over on B, and First Blood has actually been confirmed the other way. LAG Academy is the one to come out in a 4v3 situation.
Really hard to try to retake this site here on Moscow. And the way that LAG Academy, they're working this post play, you got players inside of the couch room, just flash checking everything. Nero will get smoked, and we're Succeed watching their shoulder. That's a little trade for them. It's just up to methods. We've seen them do miraculous things from that position with a whole lot more time on the clock and the bomb not planted, but Zinni will be snuffed out. And LAG Academy, I mean, for what we saw, it seemed like that they were in the middle of the map there, Alan. Obviously not missing any strides, didn't obviously get blooded by any means. That could just be coming through from a multitude of things. I won't even sit here and speculate, nor just sit here and write a playbook on Moscow Search and Destroy. Fantastic Fort. Let's see what they can do on their offense here. And again, this really comes down to, again, Slacked as a talking point before we hopped over towards the break. What are they doing to almost be that Abizi-esque player, like you were noting there, Alan, to try to work these first bloods? But all Fantastic Four are stacked up together. Looking for this courtyard push, but Exceed are going to know that something's up.
He doesn't see much, though. That's the big key. So he's actually playing aggressively. Slack, this is a challenge that he should absolutely be taking, and Jintroid will follow through. The Semtex was trying to deny some space, but it's not successful on that feat. Mox up top by Police has read that there are a couple of players on this post plant towards the outer street. The rest of LAG Academy working from the interior, and how about it? Nero, Mental, find the first two eliminations. Now they can start to overwhelm and push forward. Nero tags up. Here comes the challenge, but not going to find any success whatsoever. In the 3v4 retake, LAG Academy make it look like a cakewalk.
Yeah, you keep Mox up top inside PD. They're essentially locking down two players over by Boulevard. That, again, comes down to both Mental and as well as Nero to then work forward. Again, you lost one player incredibly early by the B site. Again, by Exceed, you talked about how they didn't see any players cross over, but they got double challenge immediately. That almost kind of screams, if it's not a 2-2 split and they're not meeting any resistance over towards A, is a heavy B committal, so you just isolate players. Even those two were trapped over by the Boulevard. Nice little shoulder challenge. Didn't need a bullet immediately, and Mental, they find two within that round. Fantastic work for them. This LAG Academy looking pretty decisive as far as what they want for the retakes, and I'm going to finally get to see what they look like on offense here, Alan.
Yeah. 2 kills across the board for everybody, 3 of which are consecutive and streaking potentially. Fantastic Four are going to do a 2-1-1, which will be interesting to see how they want to read this, because really Slacked is just responsible for the gold window. So a lot of trust that Fire will read any play outside and then also be able to win any gunfights that push him up towards this cutout window, which you see one of each of those results mentioned come through. So 3v3 now the situation. Bomb is still lingering mid-map, and it seems like it wants to go over to A, and with that kill from Exceed, it very well could. Jintroid gonna find the first, needs to find more than that, though. Pre-fire nearly gets the second, and they'll be down to Slack for a 1v2.
Got a 74U in hand. Or a fallen comrade over here, and maybe to pick up a Crick 6. And a 74U is what Slack wants. Do this job. But the players now for LAG Academy, you just stack up over by that brick wall. It's going to be really hard for Slack to not only read the angles, does have a few util to play with here. Not going to play it.
He actually gets the information onto Exceed. No trigger discipline. Going to sound cue the windows. Second attempt. Exceed, though, ready for it. Also has an AR. No problem for him. And LAG Academy now up 3-0. We talked about how their search and destroy is going to need to be good. Well, it's pretty much freaking flawless right now.
It's freaking flawless, man. It's looking great. Yeah, again, it's the initial setup. It was, again, just try to tailor a lot of information. It came through of just probably watching a whole bunch of VOD, again, knowing that there is always going to be an air flex. I mean, Exceed is going to be that air flex inside cutout wall. Fire is going to be that player for Fantastic Four. And that poor little player in a bait which make it a 3v3 in LAG Academy, they just run over with numbers. We are Fantastic Four. They've had enough of this trickery.
Beautiful opening gunfight from Nero. Mox also able to find one more. You've got Exceed trying to play on the pinch. He's going to find 2 for free. I mean, goodness me. I know that, Ricky and those guys from LAG's support staff and coaching team have been helping this Academy roster out, and I think we're starting to see a bit of it, because that is an opening strat from the opening stage 1 that we saw LAG CDL team use pretty regularly, and have found a lot of success there for their Academy roster.
Yeah, again, like you just have the player inside the cutout wall. You got one player on back pillars over by the brick heady. You got the one player just posted up closer towards the bomb site. That's effectively the crossfire that you need for a 4-player push to not find anything. The hardest part is just landing those shots, which LAG Academy and this Search and Destroy are doing everything. That Slack actually finds that Mantle gunfight win, so that's a great first blood, plus potential gold control to follow. And the Mental just might want to try to find an isolated kill over by Boulevard. I want to try to make a play for this bomb as well. We'll slip down inside the doggy door. We'll see 2 players. Can't find the first. Fantastic Four. They will stop the bleeding here. And again, it's like you said, the aggressive first blood was there. But you really got to tip your hat to Fire. They worked hard. Like you were talking about, to chase this trade. Luckily enough, with 18 HP, they win the second gunfight versus Mox. Can't find the trade. And it's that second player that we always talk about in Search and Destroy to find those trades. But when you're just so heavily dedicated to finding that trade like Fire was right there, that's a pretty good one to be able to walk away with.
Taking a look over to see how Built by Gamers and New York are going. It's all Built by Gamers right now. 5-1 for Kismet. He does find himself in a 1v2 position at the moment. Oh my goodness, he actually wins that. One more to deal with, and he's got a bomb to actually play off of. Checks it, nobody's there. Now we're just kind of casting off the small picture-in-picture feed, but this is for 5-0, and Kismet for a 1v2 is looking pretty promising. Yeah, he clutches up. Goodness me, Built by Gamers having themselves a day today. 2-0 up, essentially, if they can win one more round on Moscow Search. But we change our focus primarily back to LAG versus Fantastic Four. And another interesting hit coming out for F4, trying to play the middle of the map. Exceed has locked down First Blood once more.
It's that cutout wall position yet again, Alan. Every single time Fantastic Four are trying to work their way through Metro, it is Exceed that not only reads it, but at least can walk away with a kill. And now they've rotated back over towards A. Will be the effective trade. Make this a 3v3. Fantastic Four think that this is going to be the go-ahead to work their way over towards the B site. Mox could be in a position. It's going to be a pixel to potentially see Fire down lane, who's just laying prone, and Mox wins the gunfight.
So massive, and you have to give a lot of typical credit to Fantastic Four for reading, hey, Exceed rotated out. Let's go B. There'll only be one player there. They do find the trade, and how about it? Methods will take down one more with him. So now a 1v2 for Nero. He'll find the first. He's being chased from behind, though, and the angle was easily locked down. So we go to 4-2. Couple of nice rounds for Fantastic Four in the mix. And it looks like the same could be said for New York. As I'm looking over my second monitor here, they're in a 3v2 situation, and it looks pretty good for them at the moment.
Yeah, it's 3v2. God RX and Pander left alive versus Prelude Hamza. Now as Saints will fall. Potential to go 6-0 here on a Moscow Search trade. And again, it's like you said, I mean, they're having a day. BBG kind of transcended from being that aggressive, just trying to throw anything at a wall and see what sticks, to really becoming reserved and creative in their Search and Destroys. Kisman's at 7-2, 6-3, BBG. Game and cat and mouse over, and then a very small PIP. But LG Academy, for their offense, they want this A site, and well, Fantastic Four, they're effectively just going to have to play for the retake. Methods over by the cutout wall. Wanted to wait a little bit longer, but all of LG are on the side.
Built by Gamers, clutch up the 2v3. 6-0 in the Search and Destroy. Oh, what do these guys eat for breakfast and lunch, and can I sign up for the meal plan?
Please.
For real. 2v2, though, on our screens coming forward. Bomb has been dropped, but very quickly collected by Mox. He's going to actually just hard commit to planting this as well. This is a heck of a read. Slack is going to try to play through Eskies. Jintroid just behind him. Timing is going to be everything here, and the weapon has been seen. Slack finds a free kill. Just comes down to sniffing out where Mental is positioned. And he's actually lost the beat on where these two Fantastic Four members have come from. It's going to be all just down to, can you win the gunfights? The answer, no. Fantastic Four, not just keeping themselves alive. They have brought this back to a one-round differential. Really good last 3 rounds for them.
Yeah, it really is. And you almost have to think for what LIG Academy have been doing for their offense and defense, just trying to play, I wouldn't say totally coy, but they're just trying to wait for the information, the unforced errors. In this time around, the past few rounds now, Shift, Fantastic Four, they're willing to give them the information, but it's coming rather aggressively from a lot of challenges. That's where you're finding Slack to find those first bloods, to really challenge out those players, to find those trades that we saw a few rounds ago as well from Fire. Well, if you're a pro player, even on the bench, and you're really starting to feel yourself, especially one named Slack or Methods, that's a gunny I don't want to face twice in the week.
No, definitely not. So an opportunity brewing to potentially keep this streak alive and tie this game right back up. What is going to be the defensive play for LIG? It looks to be a 3-1 split. Exceed, who has traditionally played the middle of the map, will continue to do so, but he's playing pretty forward, just scouting for information. Not liking the look of it. We'll back up to safer confines. Methods, a couple of jump peeks just to say hello to Nero. Nero will say hello back, I imagine. And for a very polite start to this search and destroy, Fantastic Four don't really have at least any kind of an ideas, at least that we could see off the telegraph of where they want to execute. They're still trying to play the middle of the map.
Methods is that player that is over by the jump peak, over by P3, though, Alan. They're trying to throw a couple jumps, and they could be the read that LEG Academy are on the same setup from one Fantastic Four, 4-player deep, ran towards A. That could just be the call. This might just work. Up escalators they go.